Having trouble with your garage door? Problem solved. Call Direct Service Overhead Garage Door Company. We're your go-to team for garage door repair, new garage doors, openers, and more. We offer same-day service. We're always ready when you need us. Best of all, you can book your appointment online or talk to a live operator 24/7. No machines, no waiting. So whether it's a broken spring or a brand new garage door, trust the local experts at Direct Service Garage Doors. Call us today or visit directserviceoverhead.com.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Hope your weekend was fantastic. And yeah, I'm freezing in my studio / garage. So I'm wearing the Mass Effect hoodie again tonight. I like it nice and cold in here. And then
I thought that was Carolina Panthers to celebrate the Cowboys getting beat.
Oh boy, Rams beat the Ravens. Let's go. All right, welcome everybody. Make sure you like, share, hit the subscribe button. If you're new here, definitely hit that subscribe button. I don't know, tap the notification bell, that way you know as soon as we go live. And make sure you hit the every time we go live, or if there's content posted on Tusk Talk with Ty YouTube, make sure you hit that bell. Sharing is caring, as always. And shout out to Patreon supporters. You guys, I mean, September was great. October looks really good. We're kind of getting, we're doing a little course correction with Patreon. I do have an announcement for Tusk Talk with Ty Patreon supporters. It looks like we're going to have an interview with the Pigpen, the Pigpen group, the NIL, the collective, Pigpen Collective. You can check them out at pigpencollective.com. We're going to have him on Wednesday night along with Courtney Mims. This will be after the regular live show. So we'll end here probably a little bit around 8:00. And then as soon as I'm done here, we're going to go to Patreon on YouTube. You'll have the link only if you're a Patreon subscriber. And Courtney Mims and myself and Pigpen Collective, we're gonna talk this out, figure out this whole fan collective thing, see if we can just get a little bit more information on it and maybe kind of their challenges and whatnot. So again, that'll be Wednesday night after this live show. So I hope to see you there. Make sure if you want to get in on that conversation and maybe you're not a Patreon supporter, you need to join Patreon. $4. That's it, man. $4 a month. And it goes towards supporting a truly independent channel. All right, Tim, how you doing, man?
Chat right out the gate. Better get that one.
Uh-oh. I heard Ty read super chats and don't skip them. I don't skip them. I read. I've got a pretty good batting average when it comes to super chats. I appreciate that, Hog Wild. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
No, man, I'm good. I'm good. I feel like this is my show. I mean, it is Tusk Talk with Ty, but I feel like this is my show. Like Wednesday night is Travis's show, and maybe he just shouldn't be allowed on this show. Maybe this should just be Ty and Tim, and Travis, with all his technical difficulties, needs to kick it to Wednesday. But fair. I'm good.
Fair. Well, that's good to hear, man. Yeah, Monday night, maybe we should rename the show. Just call it Ty and Tim.
Someone called it Vitamin T a second ago.
Vitamin T.
Vitamin T.
I like that.
So
I had someone on the last live show in the comments. He posted earlier today and said that, I had mentioned in the post game about how that was a moral victory.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy left a comment. I honestly was just like, I wasn't aware I had to spell out what a moral victory is. I wasn't aware of that. Selgo _ Saxon, whose real name is Luke. Ty, it's not about the moral victory. I wanted to see if they had fight. And then he writes, dudes, I'm not sure that Ty understands what a moral victory is, that or he is terrible at explaining things, which makes him terrible at what he does. Man.
Wow.
Almost 2 million views, but all right, go off.
How much growth have you had in the last month, Ty?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. I think I'm closing in on like, I don't know, 150 subscribers, new subscribers.
That's pretty good for being bad at what you do.
I know, right? 60,000 views in 28 days.
Yeah, I'll take that kind of bad. I'm just saying, I'll take that kind of bad.
I just wasn't aware I had to spell out what a moral victory was. I think my audience is pretty damn smart, and I guess Selgo. My guess is he's from another audience or maybe Discord,
sure.
And like they do this whole thing where they're real militant about their people, and anybody else just sucks. I don't know. That's very troglodyte-like behavior, but I hope that maybe that's not it. Maybe he just legitimately doesn't like me. I don't know. I'm sorry I let you down though, Luke. I apologize, man. I really hope I could do better. Luke White. I hope I can do better, Luke White. All right. What is Ty mad about this time? What?
What is Ty mad about?
I'm mad about anything. Travis Ford, Tim looks like Mr. Clean post-retirement.
You can talk on your own show. Oh, well, he paid for that one, I guess.
He did pay for that. Well, $1.99. All right, Tim. Arkansas's got a bit of a problem on its hands.
Man, I don't think I've seen this many. Would we call it mid-season now? I guess we would. Many mid-season coach firings. Early to mid-season coach firings. It's kind of crazy.
This is going to be, and this is what I was talking about. Well, maybe I didn't mention it in my video that I made about Petrino potentially. Like, could he be the head coach? Like, what that path looks like. And it only gets clearer and clearer every week when these coaching firings happen. UCLA, I don't know that's you're not competing. UCLA you're a better school than UCLA. I mean, period, right? I think you're a better program than Virginia Tech. I think you're a better program than Oklahoma State. Definitely better than Trent Dilfer and UAB, who's just fired. Now Franklin is out at Penn State, and now that's the top job that's open. Whether Hog fans, I know that's going to piss some people off, and I'm not trying to piss you off, but that is the best job. That is the best.
I mean, they started out the season at number 1 or number 2. When's the last time Arkansas did that?
Yeah.
I mean, it is a better job.
They're also given, the benefit of the doubt every year or every other year because they're one of the top 3, top 4 Big Ten teams.
Yeah.
Big Ten people will tell you it's up there with, it's right behind maybe an Ohio State or, of course, Oregon's in the picture there, and, Michigan when they cheat their balls off. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I realize everybody does it. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I get it.
No, we don't play in the third lane.
So this is a problem, and it's a growing problem because we know there's a good chance, man.
There's 4 or 5 more firings coming.
Auburn with Hugh Freeze.
Mm-hmm.
Florida State.
Better job. Florida State's a better job.
Florida's
a better job.
So this is an issue. And again, this to me is why I don't know. It's really early. We got a long ways to go. I think Arkansas is competitive amongst those. I do. If you want to talk about like just in sheer value. I mean, hell, the Atlantic, this was when was this? October 13th at noon. They posted this article ranking college football's open head coaching jobs. Penn State takes over spot for now.
Mm-hmm.
They have Penn State number 1. Record over the last 5 years is 44-17. The Athletics estimated valuation is 11th among Power 4 programs. Again, that's Penn State at $1.2 billion. They give the grade an A, or the job grade an A at Penn State. Arkansas in at number 2. And this is where it's not real attractive. Record over the last 5 years is 29-27. The estimated valuation is nice at $646 million. It's almost $650 million.
Half.
23rd among Power 4 programs, which honestly I thought would be a little lower. I was thinking like maybe right outside maybe like 29th or 30th, somewhere in there. And they've got them at the 23rd. And they've got the job grade of B. They've got them ahead of UCLA, or tied maybe, I don't know, but it's a B. They give the job a B with a 30-24 last 5-year record with an evaluation. This is the athletics valuation, estimated program valuation at $343 million, which is tied for 43rd. Oklahoma State should not be this high. I'm sorry. That job. I don't care about how many wins they've had in the Big 12. Nobody cares.
I mean, when the Big 12 had Oklahoma and Texas, the Oklahoma State job might have been more attractive, a better job. But there's no competition over there now. It almost shouldn't even be a conference. I know
mean,
people
damn
are
near.
like, Arkansas should move there and be competitive. I disagree 1,000,000%. But
it's just the Big 12 is. I've made fun of that conference for like 6 years here.
Yeah,
it's just not a competitive conference. So I don't think, and they've got Oklahoma State ranked ahead of Virginia Tech, which is wild to me. No way.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Estimated valuation at Oklahoma State is $373 million with a job grade of B. I would say conference prestige would drop that to about a C-, but that's just me. Virginia Tech, 5-year record, 23-31 with a 455 valuation, 31st among P4s. And again, Oklahoma State was 39th at $373 million. I wonder where Oklahoma State would be without O.T. Boone Pickens when he gave them all their money.
That trust, yeah, for sure.
Stanford is at 6th. Oregon State's at 7th. UAB at 8th. Kent State at 9. Good Lord. I mean, there's 9 job openings. There's probably going to be 15 openings before we even get into the last 2 weeks of college football. I mean, this is just insane. It's crazy. And there's going to be more jobs. I think Florida, we'll see what happens with Florida and Billy Napier. I know they had their big moment not long ago, but they still got to play out the rest of that schedule. And again, Florida State, who knows what happens with them. So, and who knows about Brian Kelly and LSU? I mean, they're ranked and they're still a playoff contender, but they're still not happy with that offense down there. And I guess as long as they keep winning, he's fine. But I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, LSU's not going to be happy with anything but a national championship, right? Yeah. Kind of like Alabama. You could say DeBoer's one ugly loss away from being on the hot seat. So,
well, he was.
Vanderbilt about put him on the hot seat last year.
He was when they lost their opener to Florida State,
right?
And now they're on a win streak. They've won 5 straight. Until Florida opens up, we're the top. Let's see, we're the top job because we're SEC. Incorrect. That is wrong.
Penn State is definitely.
It's a better job. And again, I mean, we can agree to disagree because I know there's people, Fishman being one of them, they're gonna get heated with that, but it's just the truth, man. I mean, we could talk about what they haven't been able to do against ranked opponents and all that. I fully agree. Franklin has been a hot name today. It's becoming one of the pillars of conversation where you're at on hiring Franklin. And we will, I mean, obviously we're going to talk about that here in just a second. Let me get.
I was going to say, where are you at, Ty?
I say just name Petrino the head coach again. I wonder if Florida opens up. If I don't know LSU, I think he's going to be fine. I could be wrong, but even though their offense is booty cheeks, they're still that defense. I mean, they do everything they need to do to I mean, they win games. I mean, what else can you say? I like fried chicken. What can I say? I like fried chicken. So that's what they're doing down there. He's going to be fine.
James Franklin has the best resume of the realistic candidates.
What was that? What? Say that again.
Heartbroken Hog says James Franklin has the best resume of the realistic candidates. Wheel.
That's a
thought.
Would you put him? Where would you put him? Like
he's
Nolan
not at all.
He's not on your list?
No.
Franklin's not?
No.
Really?
No. He's not on my list at all. I don't want him.
So that leads me to the post live chat question of the day.
Go ahead. Put it out there.
On a scale of A+ to F, where would you rank James Franklin as a head coach? That, again, is the post live comment question of the night, rather.
Career or just
overall as a coaching candidate?
D-.
D-.
Yeah.
Is that because of his record versus
It's 100% his record versus anybody who has any talent whatsoever if they're ranked? His record against top 10 for sure, but his record, like I went back and looked at his Vanderbilt days and then read up on his Penn State days. He just doesn't win important games. You know, we talked about it off the show, you and I. He had some 9-4 seasons. That's great. 9-4 is great. Who wants to complain about that? But 9-4 came against nobodies. It came against the SEC East, and I know people would like to go, well, look at Tennessee's number 12 and blah, blah. When he beat Tennessee, they were unranked. When he beat, South Carolina, they were unranked. When he beat Kentucky, unranked. He never beat, when he beat Florida, unranked. I don't think he actually beat Florida. I have to go back and look at it. But the whole point is he never beats the ranked teams. He had one ranked victory in his entire time with Vanderbilt. And yeah, it was a notable game. But then you go to Penn State and they were sold a bill of goods because they're like, well, if a guy can take Vanderbilt to 9 wins in consecutive seasons, and then he goes and he loses to Ohio State all the time. Loses to Michigan all the time. I think he was 4-21 in top 10 games. That's pretty terrible. We're talking Sam Pittman numbers there at that point. Like, is that what you want? You want Sam Pittman? Nothing.
Well, I guess it also boils down to how Pittman definitely lost the games he should have won. And it looks like Franklin wins the games he's supposed to win most of the time, not all the time. He has a 104-45 record at Penn State, 64-36 conference record, which I kind of thought it would be better than that, but he did get off to an 0-3 start this year. Mm-hmm. Last year, he certainly beat a fair amount of ranked opponents, and he went bowling all the damn time. Every year he was a head coach, he's been bowling, and that includes Vanderbilt. The 3 years at Vandy. Listen, if you ask me, would you take him over Pittman any day of the week?
Well, sure, but I don't have Pittman on my list.
Right, but I'm just saying, if we're going to compare him and Pittman, I'm taking Pittman, or excuse me, Franklin.
No, you meant it. That's Freudian slip. That's what's really in your heart.
But last year, he went on a decent playoff run. His only playoff run, I think, right at Penn State. I think that was it. He has won the Fiesta. He's won a Cotton. He's won a Rose Bowl. Pinstripe his first year, Pinstripe his first year there in 2014. He is one of those coaches that comes from that era of he's been coaching since 2011. He was Vanderbilt from 2011 to 2013. He's one of those pre-NIL era coaches, which a lot of them are. And if you look at, if you want to say the NIL era, really, let's say that 22 season was kind of the cusp or the beginning of it. He's won 11, 10, and 13 games in that time span. And he has legit talent up and down. But then he's also you look at their strength of schedule at Penn State, it's not great. He should win these games when you're at Penn State, which is one of the, regardless of what you think of Joe Pa and what all went down there toward with Sandusky and everything. But they put, and that's a legendary school, and you're supposed to win here,
right?
So I don't know where I stand with him. I really don't. Would I be mad if they hired him? No, but is he in my top 3? No, I don't think so.
Well, if the SEC would go back to allowing you to schedule whoever you want to, and we could schedule UCA and UAPB and Arkansas State and Arkansas Tech as our 4 non-conference games, then I mean, I'd love to have him. I'd love to have him if we can build a cupcake schedule out of it. Then yeah, let's do it, because that's what he does. Bad strengths of schedule, heavy on wins. That's fine.
Yeah,
but the strengths of schedule isn't there to say that he's doing something amazing. And again, Penn State obviously doesn't feel like the record that he pulled together was enough to justify this season and say, well, this season is not indicative of the coach that he is, and maybe we should keep him. They're like, we're done with this experiment. So
okay, so Leo Zarkin, I'm probably butchering that, says I can't argue with his dude. I'm trying to scroll through chat. Do you have any idea how challenging that is? Like, I'm gonna miss a few of these. Ty, I think Bobby's gonna win the next 3 and muddy the waters. Okay, job security goes a long way, you guys. You can't refute that. That's fair, but we're talking about, just looking at the jobs side by side. What program? Now, I'm sure Penn State, I don't know their situation with reaching that $20.5 million, but I know one thing: kids are going there. Transfer, the recruiting class and everything. Kids are going to Penn State. The talent is going to Penn State. That's usually a pretty good indicator as to where you're at as a program and where your head coach sits in terms of, favorability. Like, you're doing pretty well, okay, when you're recruiting at that level, and that's a decent indicator that Penn State is a better job. Yeah, there's more. There's job security does matter, but dude, he was there for how long? 14 seasons. So, and by the way, you fired Pittman before the end of the season. You fired Chad Morris before the end of the season. You fired Brett Bielema walking off the field. I mean, what are we talking about here? Like, we're recycling coaches every 5 years or so. I mean, I don't know. John L. was, of course, he was never going to get the job, but he was laughed out of Fayetteville. I mean, what are we talking about? Like, Arkansas has kept one coach for a decade. We haven't done that since Houston Nutt.
Yeah.
And before that, it was a little bit different story. I don't know, man. I mean, I agree. Job security does matter. And the one thing that you feel like would certainly, if I were a head coach and I wanted to, if I had a family, well, I mean, I do, but, given each coach has a different set of circumstances, I would want to go to an area where, or a school that's got, I don't have any questions about recruiting. I don't have any questions about reaching the 20.5 and being able to grab who I want out of the portal. Those things are always great. But then there is also the idea that, hey, I'm not going to be like, a lot of these coaches don't even buy homes where they coach at. They don't even buy homes. Sometimes they just kind of set up shop because they expect to be, there's going to be some changes probably within the next 3 or 4 or 5 years. So Arkansas, you feel pretty good that, like, Pittman, as bad as things got after 2022, and you walk into that 23 season and it's a disaster. Like, I think any other coach is probably fired after that. So, I mean, I guess there is that when you talk about job security. So I guess you're not entirely wrong. He should have been fired. And then he turns it around in 24 and he wins 6 games. But I say turns it around. He wins a couple more games.
I was biting my tongue when you said that.
You know what I meant? Like, at least you won, you went 500 during the season, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know that Penn State's a better job. I don't even think it's that close. It can be. I think Arkansas can absolutely be better. It could be a way better job for sure. I still think Petrino can land this job. That would mean he is winning, and I'm all for it. Yeah. John Neighbors. I don't think that's how you spell his last name. Nabors.
Yeah, it's Nabors.
Once John Gruden. Oh, does he? Is that who he wants? I thought he wanted Mullen. I thought everybody was on the Mullen train. So, yeah, this is a growing issue, and it's a big problem because especially if Florida opens up, if again Florida State, who knows about LSU, right? There's going to be some more turbulence here as we move forward, and it's not good for Arkansas. And we knew this. Like anyone, if you've paid attention to college football forever. I mean, this is how it goes every year, and that's why it's like the more likely scenario is you end up with Bobby Petrino. I was voice texting. I got you, James. I got you. I was gonna read Fish's super chat. It's a little bit ahead of where we're going, but we're not quite here yet. But he says the effort alone, to me, proves these guys didn't respect Pittman. As sad as that is, we looked like such a fundamentally better team against the Vols. Well, I mean, I agree and disagree, Fish. They look pretty good against Ole Miss and Memphis. I mean, they played pretty damn hard against them, but they certainly, you're not wrong, they certainly let go of the rope against Notre Dame. It's not even close. John Neighbors does clickbait, so you talk about him and he feeds the algorithm. I guess so. I don't know.
Yeah.
So again, the post live question on a scale of A+ to F, and this is post live. I saw you guys posting it. This is post live, and what you do is you screenshot your answer, you post it in main chat, and then you tag me, and you're going to get some XP. For those of you who are unaware, we have started cycle 10. We've got predictions up for this weekend. We got some good ones. So go check them out. Go check out the predictions. Okay. I was getting tagged in Patreon chat here. Yes, I was voice texting. My bad. I got you, James. That's how my dad text messages me. Arky56, if you're in chat, don't deny it. He does the voice to text, and
that's how I text everybody.
I don't do that. Maybe I should.
Except when it hears the wrong word and it puts the wrong word in there sometimes. Then I have to go back and type over it. But
yeah. Oh, did you see Panthers? No, Titans. Titans fired their coach?
Yeah, I saw that. Got to get everybody ready for that new stadium.
Damn it. Yeah, I guess so. Another some more competition. Brian Callahan, he's out. Luke, by the way, I'm kidding. Luke. Okay? I'm kidding. I feel like I got to explain things, so I'm kidding. I didn't realize how young that dude was. 41.
Yeah.
Hey, he was a UCLA grad. There you go, UCLA. There's your coach.
Hey, so question for you, Ty, real quick.
Okay.
If Arkansas ends up with Bobby Petrino,
mm-hmm.
and you look at the landscape of coaches and teams that are looking for coaches and all of that, if Arkansas ends up with Bobby Petrino, is that considered an immoral victory?
A what?
Immoral victory.
An immoral victory?
Yeah.
Huh. I don't know. I've never thought of it like that. I don't know. Aren't you on? You were on the Petrino, weren't you on the?
I am. I look. What I saw. Well, we're gonna get into that. Yes, I'm on the Petrino train. I am.
Mac, he tagged me in his tweet for the show. It's Franklin running.
That's what.
Have you seen that GIF? I don't think, is it him or is it one of the guys from Key and Peele that looks just like him? I get them mixed up. Which one's which?
Is
it that's Key? Isn't it?
Yeah, it's Key.
Yeah, the show was funny. It was never as good as Dave Chappelle's show, but he has a thing where he looks just like Franklin.
Mm.
Like, so Frank, there's the GIF of him just running and he's doing this like straight line run. It's so funny, dude. Oh man. Do what it takes to get Danny Ford back. Yeah, okay. This is obviously a fake account here. I don't buy that for a second. This is either someone on their girlfriend's account or they're just a bullshit account here. Do what it takes to get Danny Ford. Okay. Oh, God only knows.
Yeah. All right.
Keegan Michael Keith. That's it. I didn't watch them a whole bunch. You know, I know Jordan Peele, right? That's the other one.
Yeah.
He directs movies. I've never seen a single one of his
kind of
movies.
scary, creepy movies.
Arkansas Hillbillies. Here's Dwight Smith. Boy, this isn't Arkansas Hillbillies are dumb fans.
All right, you guys, end him in the comments.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I don't know. Moving forward, more jobs are going to open. It's not good. It's like when the SEC expands, right? It's not good for Arkansas.
Yeah.
More teams you throw in, and here we are. More coaching job open. The more jobs that open up, it's not good for Arkansas.
Well, I don't know if they open up the SEC again and throw North Carolina in there. We're actually better than what Bill Belichick's putting on the field. So I think we might be okay.
Oh man.
Yeah. Throw Oklahoma State and North Carolina in the SEC. Then that's 2 wins for us.
What'd you make of Razorback Hoops? 14th preseason AP top 25.
You know, so right out of the gate, looking at 14th, I think it's kind of disrespectful. I mean, I think it's disrespectful for us to go as far as we did in the tournament, to return what we returned this year, and for them to say, well, they're going to be actually worse. You know, I think that's disrespectful. I noticed on the coaching list I sent you yesterday, Coach Calipari wasn't even listed in the active top 25 coaches in college basketball.
According to who, though? Who was that? Who was that by? Wasn't that CBK?
I don't remember. And there's a greater point to this.
CBR.
We look at the preseason all SEC selections, and we have 2 guys on the third team, and there's just a whole lot of, it's kind of that derangement syndrome that's going around. Only this time it's Calipari derangement syndrome or Razorback derangement syndrome. I'm not sure which, but it's like, how much hate does the media have for the Arkansas Razorbacks and John Calipari? How much hate is out there?
Yeah.
But what I think is going to happen is they just put our team on notice. They put our coaches on notice and said, we don't respect you. We don't think that you could get any better than you were last year. We actually are going to rank you 5th in the SEC. That's where you should come in at the end of the year. And I think we're top 2 in the SEC.
Okay.
So I just think there's a whole lot of Razorback derangement syndrome out there, or Calipari derangement syndrome. They might respect us if it was a different coach, I guess. But I think they put our team on notice and gave us bulletin board material for the year.
I think you're probably right.
I think they're going to regret that.
I think it's a toss-up, and I know, like, I'm not supposed to give Pope any credit, but I think Arkansas and Kentucky are right there in the mix with Florida. I hate to say that. I hate saying that, but like I said last year when they hired Pope, like I actually kind of like what this does on the floor. Like his product is pretty good on the floor. If that translates in the SEC, you might have a pretty good team. And man, they made it all the way to the Sweet 16.
Well, I think even more interesting to me is Boogie Flan going to Florida.
Yeah.
The question there is he actually going to make Florida better? And the reason I say that is, for us, he didn't fit well with DJ Wagner. Fit wasn't there because he's more of he needs to be on a team where he is the star, where he's the Iverson.
Yeah.
And if you're going to put him on a team full of guys who can play, then he's going to disrupt chemistry more than he's going to help chemistry.
I thought last year there's just something. Once they got it figured out, we kind of saw it a little bit before they went to Rupp, before they went and played Kentucky. You kind of see it a little bit where, like, wait a minute, they're starting to gel a little bit here. Like, wait, we're kind of getting a better product here. And then they explode. like shot out of the cannon at Rupp. I think they had something to prove. They proved it, and then they believed in themselves, and they were able to build off that win. They would go to Texas and beat Texas. So I mean, it was just what a turnaround. But you're right. I mean, Boogie
I'm
is
not saying that he's a bad player. I'm saying he takes a certain type of fit.
No. I get what you're
Iverson
saying.
on a team full of stars isn't Allen Iverson, or he disrupts the chemistry of the rest of the stars. And I think that's what Boogie Fland is. He's got to have a very particular type of team around him. And we weren't that fit. And I'm not sure Florida's that fit for him either.
They have Xavion Lee, Thomas. What was that kid's last name? I forget. I'm blanking on it.
Yeah, I know.
Alex Condon's there. Florida's pretty damn loaded.
And when you do that, you take away from some of those guys. And I'm not sure he's going to be the fit for that team either. And I think he'll disrupt their own chemistry. So it really could be Arkansas and Kentucky. I
was surprised they had St. John. Well, I say that, but St. John's at 5 just seems way too high to me.
Agreed.
I just, I'm not buying it. I don't know about Michigan being at 7th either. That's another one. Like they did make it to the Sweet 16 a year ago, and I think they've got some good pieces coming back. Lindenborg, you remember that name? He's back. That's a guy that was scoring like, what was it, 18, 19 points a game or something last year for them. I don't have a problem with Kentucky being ahead of Arkansas. Like that doesn't make me mad. I'm just not that guy. I will just prove it on the floor. If you think you're better, then go do it. Right. I think Arkansas is absolutely capable. Kentucky's got some interesting pieces, man. Lowe is a really good player. That's a 17 plus point per night guy. Pitt, right? I think he was a Pitt transfer.
Yeah.
So they've got some good pieces, right? But I feel like Arkansas's core group coming back at 14th and making it to the Sweet 16 the way you laid it out there is absolutely right. But I also said this when we knew this was dropping. I said, look, as long as they're somewhere in the top 16, I'm not going to be too. They need to be in the top 16 for sure. I was thinking because of the run they went on last year in the tournament. They damn near they were toe to toe with Texas Tech. Could have been an Elite 8 team. Certainly, I thought that was an Elite 8 caliber team with the way they turned things around last year. So I thought, well, maybe they'll give them the benefit of the doubt and rank them somewhere in the top 10. So I'm not shocked that they didn't.
I thought we'd at least be closer to 12. 8 to 12 is where I thought we would be.
Yeah.
14 is not far off 12. I get it, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you made it to the Sweet 16, that's basically saying you were among the worst of the Sweet 16 teams, and I don't think that's the case. And especially to return what's returning, to bring back what we're bringing back in the chemistry we're already going to have stepping onto the floor. That's to say that none of that matters whatsoever.
Well, we know Cal, he's feeling this team.
Yeah,
he's feeling it, and he's.
Did you listen to his press conference after the Hot Springs scrimmage?
I haven't listened to that one. No.
So he did say, "Look, we've got a lot to work on, and it's a good thing it's October 12th."
Okay, I did hear him say something about the full court press.
Yeah, he said either our full court press is really bad, or our press break is just crazy good.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around. I thought he was bragging on the full court press.
No, he was not bragging on the press. He was bragging on the press break.
Oh.
Yeah,
well, we'll see what he does.
Formulate a whole practice strategy for the zone defense for today. He's like on the way back to Fayetteville. I'll be working on a day of just zone defense.
Acuff, Wagner, Knox, Brazil, Malik Ewan, Florida State transfer expected to be probably the projected starting lineup. I think that's what ESPN put, but we'll see as we get through. I mean, we know he's gonna move around that actual depth that they have this year. So he's got toys to play with this year, and he didn't have that last year, even though we know that he certainly likes a smaller rotation. We'll see what he does with it. I'm very curious about Acuff. Like, I'm so excited about him. Him and Wagner and Knox on the floor at the same time almost feels like a cheat code. Like, if Acuff lives up, and we can't forget about Malik also, but if these guys, the core group of guys, Brazil, Knox, and Wagner, if they've got that vibe right out the gate, and then you add in, the two transfers, And then Acuff and Malik, oh my God. I mean, we haven't even talked about Billy Richmond either, right? Like, this is just crazy how good they are. I legitimately believe this is another kind of Elite Eight, Sweet 16 caliber roster, which again is why I don't think it's an over the moon, oh my God, this team's, they've got title written all over them. To be fair, I don't think that about anybody until, we watch them play, but it's a really strong roster. And again, it's all about the core group of guys coming back, which is huge. Well, I was going to say this really quick. They weren't ranked ahead of Alabama on this, by the way.
Yeah.
15th. Alabama right behind Arkansas at 15th.
Yeah, I think it says a lot that the non-conference schedule that we have is so loaded. Cal's not going to load up a non-conference schedule to give us 10 losses walking into the conference schedule, so there's belief there in this team and what they can do, and we're going to know. There's not going to be any question when you hit the SEC schedule whether we're going to be competitive in a tournament team or not, because we'll have played and hopefully beaten quite a few contenders. So
yeah. Hopefully, if they get through that, non-con schedule with just like a couple of losses somehow. Oh my God. Like, okay, that might be all that we need to know there. Of course, you got to get through the gauntlet of the SEC, which is wild, Tim. There are 6 preseason ranked top 25 teams in the SEC. And then you got to play, like you said, Houston, who's number 2, Duke at 6, Texas Tech at 10, Louisville at 11, and Michigan State at 22.
Tell me who has a stronger strength of schedule there.
There can't be anybody. It can't. This has got to be one of the toughest schedules of all time. Of course, we'll know at the end of the year, right? Like when the dust settles, just how tough the schedule actually was. Something tells me it's not going to move much if it does. These
are a lot of classically good teams. These are not. They were good last year, so we scheduled them this year, but typically they're not good. These are all perennial contenders of some kind. They're tournament type teams all the time.
Yeah, and they're all like, I haven't done all my due diligence on all of these teams, but it certainly looks like everyone that was that went far last year, and we know how this works. They won't all do it again this year, but they could, because these teams look just as deep, if not deeper. And Arkansas is playing every damn one of them. I swear, it's like they're playing the entire the bracket.
They're doing the entire Elite Eight, if I remember right.
I think that's right when you include the SEC. I think that's right. Hey, again, everybody, thanks for hopping in here. Make sure you like, share, and hit the subscribe button. Let's try to keep politics out of chat. Let's not do that. We're not here to talk politics. Fish, you got to change the subject, man. Okay. Got to change the subject. James 870 Arc fan says preseason polls are stupid anyhow. Well,
to some degree.
Yeah, I that's true, but like it's also it's like a respect thing too, right? Like, you want to be respected. You want to be higher, right? And it, when it comes to football, it certainly influences things big time. Basketball, not as much, because you have the selection committee and all that, and that all gets ironed out, the last month of the season and then into tournament play. But I mean, you're not entirely wrong, but it is definitely a respect thing. Let's see. How can Alabama be ranked so low? I'm not gonna lie, I was a little surprised they were outside of the top 12. I actually was with what they've got some. Again, this is going to be an interesting year for Bama. I mean, they lost to Duke in the Elite Eight, and they got Aiden Holloway and Bowen. Like they're going to be pretty damn. Bama's going to be good. I kind of wonder though, of all the SEC teams last year that were good, that won games, that went deep, semi-deep, or deep into the tournament, I wonder if any of them like drop. Like maybe they're just way overrated. And could that be Bama? Hell, could that be Arkansas? I don't think so, but could that be Florida? I was reading somewhere on Twitter today, someone was like, Florida's way overrated. They shouldn't be in the top 3, even with, the Boogie Fland and Xavier Lee additions. Like, they're overrated. I don't know that I'm going to say that, but I kind of wonder if some of those teams that went on those runs last year, whether it be Tennessee, Arkansas, Florida, Bama, whatever, kind of wonder if one of them has just like an unexpected, terrible year. When I say terrible, where like maybe they're a low seed and they're a one and done in the tournament or miss the tournament entirely. It seems like that happens every once in a while. Kansas is barely ranked in the top 20. Auburn's at 20. And then North Carolina at 25. Man, that's weird. That's weird. All right. Arkansas played Tennessee on Saturday, Tim. I don't know if you're aware, but
did that happen?
That happened. Yeah. Petrino's first game as the interim head coach. I would love to know it, chat. We got the raw reaction after the game.
Always do. Yep.
And from me and Chad as well. I know you were in there for a little bit. I'm kind of curious where people are at. So the aftermath is what I have titled for this topic. Aftermath of Arkansas versus Tennessee and Petrino. Did this do anything? And I realize we got 6 more games left. We got a ways to go. But did this do anything for you and chat as well to kind of change your mind on Petrino? Did it stay the same? Are you like, you know what? Actually, damn, I wasn't expecting that. And I'm way up on Petrino now. I know he's already kind of your guy to be the head coach, but
it did not change anything for me. And he is my guy. It definitely didn't. Like I've tried to pay attention to quite a few of the shows like Neighbors on Twitter and a handful of other guys, podcasts and stuff. And I have to be honest, I'm watching these guys melt down with this more of the same. And I heard you even say more of the same. And to a degree, I understand why you're saying it. But a lot of these guys are like, well, if we're just going to have a 1-score loss, why don't we keep Pittman? And the truth is, if we kept Pittman, it wasn't a 1-score loss. Mm-hmm. It was a 4-score loss or more. I mean, we were going to get blown out. I think that you saw the comment earlier on the super chat, and I agree 100%. The guys didn't respect Pittman enough to give him the effort against Notre Dame that would have produced that same kind of result right there. And honest to God, I would have rather lost a 1-score game to Notre Dame than get blown out at home like we did and embarrassed. But the guys went out and competed. Obviously, you have to. Bobby's been the offensive coordinator now for a year and a half. You have to give him some of the responsibility for the fumbles. I don't know why they are not getting ball security taken care of. You would think after the Ole Miss game, ball security would have been addressed immediately. You would think after Memphis, ball security would have been addressed immediately. Now you've had 4 fumbles, 3 lost. Ball security has got to be addressed. If they don't address it this week, now my thoughts on Petrino might take a dip a little bit. If we have another game where we fumble, much less multiple fumbles, then that is 100% on Petrino for not getting it fixed. But at the same time, he got the guys to play. He got the guys to not give up. I think in the third quarter, the offensive line forgot they were at a football game and thought they were at a barbecue. But other than the third quarter, and even after they got down 34-17, the guys did not quit. They didn't go out there and just let go of the rope and quit and get smoked the rest of the game. They came back. They made it a game. They almost pulled it off. I just think that he did enough to keep his name in contention. He didn't do enough to make him the front of the list, probably for the university, no matter where he stands on my list. But he kept himself in the conversation just by staying close, by proving that he can inspire guys to play through adversity, that he could inspire them to play through not just the adversity of a coach being fired, but through the adversity of falling behind significantly, 3 scores in a game. He was still able to inspire them to come back. And I think that speaks really well for Bobby Petrino and the way the players feel about him. So to me, that game did enough to keep him in the conversation. I think if he got blown out, he's out of the conversation, period.
Well, so to clarify, like when I said more of the same in the post game, what I meant was like just the outcome, right?
Sure.
I definitely saw some. There was definitely improvement. It was weird that the offensive line is like when when you look at all the positions that struggled in this game, and don't get me wrong, it's not like Tennessee wasn't just like moving down the field on offense. Like, I'm not saying the defense doesn't still have issues, but the offensive line was a legitimate issue later on in the game.
Yeah,
like the protection was there for a little while. I mean, there was several dropbacks where Talon had all day to throw the damn ball.
Mm-hmm.
And then as the game went on, and I think Petrino had said something about, just communication, making the wrong communication between the guard and the tackle, I think is what he said. Man, that stuff that, again, I realized that Pittman's gone, but your offensive staff is still intact. Like, and this is on the road, and that's fair, and that's one of the most hostile, 100,000 plus people. That's a tough place. You're going to have screw ups. But at the same time, like, how many penalties did Arkansas have in that game? And when did they get their first penalty?
So their first penalty, I think, actually happened in the first half, but it got declined.
It got declined. That's fair. That's fair.
So then they got their first actual accepted penalty in the fourth quarter. That was amazing. When's the last time that happened in an Arkansas game? Yeah. I don't even know. That was amazing.
Well, if you include even the penalty, because I think two of them got declined, right? Wasn't it two penalties?
I think one in the first half and two in the second got declined.
So that would have been 3 penalties.
Yeah.
3 penalties at Tennessee. So if we're going to sit here and talk about like, oh, well, the noise was a factor and that, there's communication issues. Well, it certainly didn't impact you in terms of, procedure penalties or false starts and, the typical stuff that happens in hostile territories. Like how is communication still an issue? And if the offensive line does their job, unless it's a green pre-check problem, if he's not shifting his protection, whatever, and Petrino's not talked about that. Pittman vaguely, I remember last year, kind of mentioned some of the pre-snap stuff, but they never really went into detail about it. Like, and I would think if there was a real issue there, we would have heard Petrino or Pittman talk about it and discuss it to some degree. More than what we've heard. So I think that this is something going on with Eric Matios's group, with his coaching. There's something here. I'm not saying they played terrible, and they've overall been pretty decent this year. They really have. Overall.
They're definitely improved over last year.
Man.
By this point last year, I was calling for firing of people left and right. I mean, last year was just a disaster, an utter disaster. But the other thing is they pulled it together in the fourth quarter. I mean, we had 2 scoring drives in the fourth quarter.
They did. As a team, they did. They pulled it
together.
Quarter
letdown that was weird. It was just kind of a weird blip in the game. First and second quarter were pretty good. Fourth quarter was pretty good. Third quarter was awful.
Yeah, third quarter was bad. They had if I remember right, they only had like I'm probably getting this wrong. I don't even know if I want to say it, but I think it was like 30 yards of offense or something. It wasn't good. We know they didn't score. But they did put together a fourth quarter, man. I mean, and the defense got the ball back in the hands of the Arkansas offense. And again, I don't think we should just shake that off like, oh, well, we still lost. I mean, I get it. I know moral victory, but I mean, holy shit. The defense actually put the offense in a position where they could score those 14 points and make it interesting. Offense fumbled the ball 3 times, technically 4, and lost it 3 times.
And 2 of them were on drives that would have been scores. Again, just like Ole Miss, just like Memphis. 2 of the Braylon Russell's drive. Now, you can't blame, like I watched that replay a bunch of times. You can't blame Braylon Russell for fumbling that ball. I don't care if he had 2 hands on it. The crown of the helmet hit the ball. There was no holding on to that thing. I mean, that there are fumbles that legitimately you could do nothing about, and that was the only one in the game that you could have done nothing about.
Out of the 4.
The
3 that you lost and the 4 that hit when the ball hit the ground.
But Russell's and the other fumble that wasn't Talon Green were both on drives that were about to score, and Tennessee they were not stopping us.
No.
We stopped ourselves. Which seems to be the theme of this year. Really, if you look at this year and you look at these fumbles, and if we focused on ball security, we were a 1-loss team this year.
Isn't that crazy?
Fumbles on Notre Dame, but you can blame. I mean, you can't blame Notre Dame on fumbles, but every other game, ball security is the only issue, and we're a 1-loss team.
Arkansas has outgained every single opponent except Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
And Notre Dame, I stand by what I said. Ole Miss, Memphis hangover, that loss, it just, they let go of the rope. They were done.
Yeah.
I think had they roles reversed where they maybe played Notre Dame before they played Ole Miss or Memphis, it's a closer game. It's a way closer game.
Well, you said something the other day, Saturday, about Tennessee's offense, and I think you misunderstood my comment because I typed it because I wasn't here talking to you.
Oh,
when you said they have a 10-2 playoff, you said they have a playoff offense and a 6-win defense, and I said, but we outgained them. And what I meant to say was, I said we outgained them, so we're right there. We have a playoff offense. We just have a 2-10 defense.
they have a playoff offense with a tendency to just screw it all up, to fumble. Like it's the most bizarre thing. And I am happy that they scored 14 points in the second half. That's the first time this year against a quality opponent they've done that. And I hope they can build off of that, what we got in the second half. But yeah, I mean, it's the defense just continuously, the pressure's got to be, I mean, if you're Taylor Green, you fail if you don't score. You're going to fail because, or it is a failure because, deep down, he's not going to admit it to his coaching staff or his teammates, but he knows if I don't score, our defense is going to give up freaking points, and it's going to be a 4, 5, 6 play drive, and that's it. So the pressure's got to be insurmountable. It's got to be a lot. It's got to be a lot of pressure on. I'm not defending him. I'm not making any excuses, but I think that might have something a little bit to do with the fumbles. I also don't believe they're working on them in camp or in practice. I don't think they are. I really don't. I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen a team back-to-back years fumble the ball like they have. Now, to be fair, they were actually doing a decent job of not fumbling the ball until recently. Remember, it was interceptions that was kind of plaguing, and now it's fumbling. 4 fumble. Oh my God. 4 times you put the ball on the ground.
All they really need to do, coaches need to sit down and watch the 1990s movie called The Program, where Omar Epps fumbles the ball a couple of times, and then the coaches solve that problem. They can go to that for inspiration on how to solve that problem. And anybody who's too young to know, go find the movie The Program. It's all about college football, and it's good. They'll solve that. They can solve that. That's a solvable problem. I had something while you were talking through that. Totally forgot what it was.
My bad.
No, I mean, it was there and then it's gone.
And it slipped. Happens to me often. I've gotten into the habit.
I remember the defense. So you're right when you say that. Taylor Green knows he has to score as a failure because of the defense, but it was promising to see us play some defense against Tennessee. Like you said, you can't have the statement Tennessee has a playoff offense and then negate that Arkansas forced punts. I mean, they did force some punts from Tennessee, so the defense did play better. This still wasn't great. I mean, that's probably a D+ effort on defense.
That's an upgrade, man. That's an upgrade
from F, because the first 5 games, I mean, the first games were Fs. Period.
Yeah,
they were Fs. So a D+ effort. There were still some wide open holes and nobody filled gaps. Bad communication. But tackling was a little bit better. Effort was definitely there. We weren't just bouncing off guys and letting them run past us. It was better. It was definitely better. And forcing a punt. Oh my God. Who knew the Razorback would do that?
3 times in the second half.
Yeah.
Has Tennessee had to do that all year in the second half? I mean, I don't know.
I think maybe against Georgia.
Okay.
Maybe.
Because they kicked a field goal in the third quarter, and then Arkansas fumbled it, and then they turned around and they punted. And then Tennessee got the ball back, punted again. Arkansas gets the ball back. The offense lets them down. They punt. And then Tennessee scores on 6 plays, 74 yards in the third quarter under the 4-minute mark. In the fourth quarter, they get Tennessee to punt. And they got a punt out of the fourth quarter. So, I mean, it is promising. And if they can do that against Tennessee on the road, why the hell can't you do that at home against A&M? A&M's not as good as these guys are on offense. They're good. Don't get me wrong. They're playing way better compared to a year ago on the offense. on the offensive side of the ball. But like, why can't you do this again? And this was the issue last year we ran into. Like they were never consistent. We got a whole different staff now, so I don't know. Maybe they get it figured out. Maybe these former analysts who've been promoted, position coaches and whatnot, maybe they figure something out now that they've got the control, a little bit of control.
I just think it's promising that in 2 weeks we saw a much greater effort. With Bobby as the coach, we saw a much greater effort from the players. I told you when they made the change, and he said what he said to the players. The most pragmatic thing is, look, I don't care if you want to be here or not. Don't leave. Go out there and make yourself some game film. That's the only thing he really could say. And that's the only thing they really need to have on their mind at this point is I'm going to get paid from somebody, whether it's the NFL, my next team, or the Razorbacks. So I need to go out there and play as hard as I can. And if that's what it took and that's what worked, great. Because the product was better, and hopefully it continues to get better through the rest of the season.
Someone says that A&M, where'd it go?
Is Tennessee with a decent defense?
I wouldn't go that far. Tennessee's the number one scoring offense in the country. They average 48 points a game. Texas A&M is like, I've not done my A&M research. That's what I do on Tuesdays typically, and then Wednesday during the day. But I don't think A&M is that high in scoring offense. I think it's somewhere in the top, I think they're somewhere in the top 40 in scoring offense. They average like 30. It is a lot. Don't get me wrong. And when they play Arkansas, it's not even going to matter, right? Like they're probably going to hit their average. Although Arkansas held Tennessee below their average.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows, right? And this game will be in Fayetteville. Under Pittman, that used to not mean a damn thing. Let's not forget, we're going to talk about this on Wednesday. Petrino's got a pretty damn good record against A&M. He played them 3 times here. He was undefeated, and then he beat them when he was at Louisville. So this, I know that doesn't mean anything. It's a whole new era of football, and that was a long time ago. But hey, you never know. Maybe he can do the opposite of Pittman and play well at home. But just going to read some more comments here. Again, make sure you guys share the content, man. Yeah, well, Notre Dame's defense is not good. Okay, they're not good. They were good against Arkansas because Arkansas completely let go of the rope. But Notre Dame's defense has not been great.
When your guys quit, there's not much you can do about it. It doesn't matter how bad the defense is if the team quits.
Yeah. A&M has an elite defense. I know their front 7, they feel like they've replaced what they had a year ago. They feel really good about what they're doing on the defensive side of the ball. I don't know about elite, but I know they're pretty savvy. They're like a top 20, top 25 group in total yards. Last I looked, and yards allowed on defense. So they're really good on defense. I think they're really good at taking the ball away or something. I'll start my A&M stuff tomorrow. Get all caught up on them. I take it a game at a time, but really, I'm looking forward to this one, man. Again, we'll talk about that on Wednesday night. We'll get into it. We'll discuss it.
I hope to be here Wednesday night.
Say what?
I said I hope to be here Wednesday night to talk about that.
Yeah. This is a big one. I mean, the potential is there for this to be a big, big game. And I wanted to say, when we were talking about Petrino a second ago and just kind of what this does in terms of, like, did it change anybody's mind? Did maybe it make you, if you weren't big on Petrino, did it change your mind at all? And I think for a lot of those people, I think that they need to see more. And I think everyone's in that boat, but definitely the anti-Petrino group. I think they're also like, well, let's just see how this thing goes. Because again, like I said at the beginning of the show, the more these jobs open up, it's going to feel more and more realistic that Petrino could be a legitimate candidate so long as he wins games, so long as he finds a way to win. I don't know what the magic number is. I've got people saying he's got to win 5. And I'm like, I don't believe that. 5 to me is I don't think Saban could walk in here and win 5 games with this roster and with what Arkansas has left to play. But I think he's got to be competitive in every single one of them, and I think he's got to be somewhere in the 3 wins. But again, nobody knows. But as these jobs continue to open up, if Florida opens up, and I don't think LSU's is going to, but if LSU's job opens up, if there's some more movement elsewhere, who knows? A coach takes a job, unexpected. We have some unexpected. I mean, hell, I would say Franklin getting canned was pretty damn surprising. I did not expect them, even though they got off to the start that they got off to. And yeah, they lost to UCLA and Northwestern, or I think it was Northwestern, right? They lost to. Their fans are pissed. I get it. But like, I was shocked that they fired him. I didn't think he would last if the year unfolded. Like, I'm talking November. I'm talking like, that's when I thought they might make a move, not October 13th or whenever what was it, yesterday, I guess, whenever they fired. I wasn't expecting that, even after another embarrassing loss for them. So who knows what happens moving forward. And it seems like these programs are more and more ballsy, and they're starting to believe that, wait a minute, we can fire these guys. To hell with these buyouts. We'll restructure them. We'll make deals with these coaches and their buyouts. We'll see if we can get them to come down somehow, depending on the language in the contract. And it's certainly starting to look like there's going to be more openings. And this isn't good for Arkansas. And therefore, if Bobby is, again, if he's competitive and he wins, again, I don't know what the hell the magic number is. I don't know. But he could be a for real legitimate top 2 candidate by the time the end of November rolls around. And I think some people already believe that.
Yeah, I think he should be a top 2 candidate. Maybe top 3, definitely top 3, but I think top 2. And I mean, honestly, when I look at the schedule, I don't think we beat Texas A&M. I'd love to, but I don't think we do. But I told you off camera, every other game is winnable. Watching us perform against Tennessee, every other game is winnable. Not saying we will, but if he's competitive with Tennessee, who is number 12, he's competitive with Texas A&M, and then he were to win out, Auburn, Texas, Mississippi State, and Missouri, 4 wins. I mean, it'd be hard to say that guy doesn't deserve this coaching job. Yeah. He took a team who let go of the rope and brought them back competitive against 2 ranked playoff teams and beat the last 4. That it would be hard to go, yeah, don't give him the job. To me, that would be insane.
Yeah, if he, let's say he loses to A&M and he loses to Auburn and he wins those last 4, how the hell do you walk away from that? How do you walk away from that? And you could have LSU could be a playoff team.
Yeah.
I mean, right now they're 10th.
Right.
And of course the playoff,
I'm out of that list, but yeah.
Yeah, the playoff ranking will be its own thing, but who knows what Texas will look like. We definitely have a pretty good feeling about what they're doing on offense, but their defense is like, you talk about, that's a damn good defense. On their best day, that's probably one of the top 4 defenses in the country. The same about LSU too. I mean, LSU's defense is crazy good with a little bit more potential on offense, but LSU probably a playoff contender, maybe by the time you get to them. Missouri, they are just a 1-loss team. They're 5-1. I don't think they're a playoff team, but they could be. Let's say they're not. Hell, let's just say they're all 3 barely ranked. I don't care. If you win out against a vastly improved Mississippi State, at LSU, kind of like you've already laid it out, at Texas, in Austin, and Missouri, I just, again, how do you walk away? I don't buy people who are saying, no, he's got to win 5. What? What are you talking about? You're not walking away from doing that. I think we have to take this a game at a time. I think that's the right approach. Instead of just drawing a line in the sand. That's how many wins. I think it's way more complicated than that. And then the other part of it too is, where are the boosters at? We know that Frank Fletcher's he's all in on Bobby Petrino. That's a big booster. And apparently there are several. And also, apparently, have you ever seen that video? The kid. Apparently, the boosters are going to help pony up. Like the next coaches, I guess they're gonna pony up and they're gonna help him out in the NIL/Razerback Foundation department. So the next coach is going to have some options. And if it's Bobby Petrino, and if it's true that these boosters who have a different feeling than people who used to work with Bobby, remember, we kind of have to split the two, because I can tell you, I've talked with plenty of people who were around the program who hated his guts. It's the boosters that matter. And I hate to say that. I'm not saying that the janitor and all them, that they don't matter, but you know what I mean? In the grand scheme of moving forward,
the janitor doesn't have a say, but the boosters do.
Boosters absolutely do.
Yeah.
So that's where this thing's going to all boil down to, man. And I just, there's just overwhelming evidence that Petrino is likely going to be a very serious candidate, so long as he doesn't shit the bed, so long as he doesn't, have piss running down his leg after losing some games and getting blown out. And then it's a different conversation. At that point, we're moving on fully in on Dan Mullen. By the way, Dan Mullen is still my number one. And not even because he's 6-0 at UNLV. He's been my number one since Pittman was fired. He's my guy. I was curious what he would do at UNLV, and by God, he's answered that question. He could start losing some games, and obviously then we'll probably have to readjust a little. But, yeah, I don't know. There are, like I've said before, we could talk ourselves into any one of these hires, even the most adamant anti-Franklin people right now. If they were to somehow hire Franklin. By the way, obviously Penn State's off the board, so you don't have to worry about, if you are Team Franklin, then you don't have to worry about Penn State. They're not going to be an issue. But, maybe you could talk yourself into any one of these coaches that they hire. I mean, fans always do that. They always do it. Even if you're anti this guy or that, even the most anti-Pittman people, I can remember in my comment section, after Arkansas won 3 conference games that first year, they had all changed their tune. And then the next season, guess what they did? They're buying season tickets, or they're asking me about season tickets. They're asking about merch. They're asking about all this stuff, because of what he did in year 2. So you can talk yourself into any one of these damn hires. And if you don't think you can, then I don't know. You're a lot more strong-willed than most. I'll say that, because my experience is, and I've done it myself. I talked myself into Pittman. I did. I remember having conversations with my neighbor after they hired him. I was like, man, this is not a good hire. And then after those first 3 wins, I was like, or the 3 conference wins in 2020, I was like, oh shit, okay, I was wrong. He's good. He'll be all right. And I guessed him to win eight games the next year, and they did that. And I was like, shit, they got themselves a head coach. What are we doing? Let's go. And then it all just fell apart.
Well, except that what really happened there is his coordinators made him look better than he was. Let's be honest.
You mean Pittman? You're talking about Pittman?
Yeah. It was never Pittman. It was always Bryles and Odom.
Yeah,
Pittman. It doesn't matter.
You do have. I mean, listen.
You have head coaches who actually go in and coach, and you have head coaches who are the face of the program, but the coordinators coach, and that's what Sam Pittman really was. And you knew that the minute the offensive line started struggling, and he walked into the press conference, and they said, "Are you going to step in? And because of your background as an offensive line guru, are you going to step in and help the offensive line coach?" And he said, "Well, probably going to have a cold beer, and I'm probably going to not step on anybody's toes. I don't really want to step on nobody's toes." That's when you knew, like, he's totally CEOing this thing, and everybody is coaching. He might come in and go, "Guys, we want to probably throw the ball 55 times this weekend," but he wasn't coordinating anything. And so it was really Bryles and Odom that made him look better than he was.
I hear that, but it's like, that's what a CEO coach does, though, right? Like, you go and you get the right assistants, the right position coaches. Well, the coordinator brings in his position coaches, but you got to finalize the hirings. Mm-hmm. I don't disagree. And then obviously Dan Enos was a horrible hire. Travis Williams was never a good hire. I'm sorry. I've been saying it since day one. He's not a good hire. Well, I take that back. Day one, I was like, okay. Year one, I was like, okay, we saw some, all right, they're swarming a little better. And then last year, I was completely off the train. I knew last year, like, this is a disaster. This is not going to, I don't know if it's going to get any better. And I said, coming into this year, I said, the secondary, I don't think is better. In the defensive line, I thought maybe had some depth, and then it turns out they don't. So, like, yeah, I agree with you, but also, like, he did hire Kendall Bryles and Barry Odom. He was the guy that made those hires, and Barry Odom obviously helped him right the ship. And Kendall Bryles was a hell of a coordinator here. I mean, he was great. He made KJ look like a legitimate SEC quarterback. Mm-hmm. And you saw what happened to KJ when he left Fayetteville. So, I mean, Barry Odom's defenses were not great, but apparently he had a lot to do with how things were kind of organized those first 3 seasons. But Dan Enos was that first sign of, oh God, this is going downhill fast. And Travis Williams was an upgrade for like a minute on defense. And then it just fell apart. Petrino's obviously worked out. I mean, their offense is better. They are better compared to what they were under Enos for sure. I don't know why we're talking about measurements in chat with. Okay, someone was pointing out something you had said, and I wanted to pull it up. Oh, not being that guy is a deficiency?
Not being that guy. What guy?
I don't know. I don't know what King Command. This is a legendary status member right here. So he's got to be this is top notch here. You got to give us some more context. Got to have some energy and leadership from the head coach. That I definitely agree with.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I'm not reading that comment out loud. Low key would take Kurt's low key. You take I'm out loud, dude. I would take Signetti in a heartbeat. What?
Yeah, in a minute.
I mean, I'm all in on some Signetti, but that ain't happening.
Although someone did post earlier, Signetti will end up at Penn State. And
I'd read that he had already turned them down.
Oh, really?
Well, maybe that was like as a coordinator or something. I don't know. I
was going to say that could happen.
Oh, dude, could you? Oh, man, I don't want to think about that at Penn State. Like, holy crap.
Oh, King Command said, referring to Pittman and his CEO approach. Oh, no, I don't necessarily mean that it's a deficiency for every CEO coach, but he didn't do well with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they made him look good. Sometimes it works out, but Sam Pittman was not a good CEO coach, and you could tell that when he hired Dan Enos.
Yeah. Oh. Well, this kind of makes you wonder, though. Yeah, Enos was not a right fit, but like, could any coordinator have turned KJ around? Was it really just that Kendall Briles knew how to push those buttons with KJ, and it was like anybody else, just a disaster? Maybe the language there, the verbiage KJ got, and he understood, and he could operate with it. And maybe we're being too harsh on Enos, although I don't think so, because some of the play calling was suspect. Man, that was bizarre, and it just didn't work out. And that is, at the end of the day, that is Owen Pittman. He, you gotta know what you're working with, and he didn't know what he was working with. Hogblitz says, Ty, wrong. It was the second half of 2022. What was Hogblitz? You got to be more specific, buddy. We're trying to scroll up, and I'm sure it's something to do with like the downfall of Petrino or something. I'm sure, or Pittman. I mean. Barry Odom's defense was trash, though. Yeah, again, I'm not saying that it was good. I'm saying that he helped orchestrate the entire, like, that team, because he was a former head coach.
It felt like it got worse. Like
it always did.
It was better the first year than it was at the end.
Yeah.
It was never good. Don't get me wrong, but it felt like it just got progressively worse.
It was never good. Yeah, let me repeat.
Year one, it was the garbage bag outside the dumpster. At the end, it was the dumpster on fire.
Enos needed a pro-style quarterback like Brandon Allen. Yeah, he worked well with Brandon Allen, didn't he? He worked really well with BA. That last year for Brandon Allen was incredible. Who's our next DC? Well, Hogman, we got to get our head coach first, right? We got to figure out who the hell that is first. I mean, I haven't even thought about, like, I just, let's get this head coaching thing figured out. Again, Mullen is still my number one, but it's just, it just looks so much. It's starting to look, I feel like the clouds are starting to separate a little bit, or the fog is starting to lift a little, and I just, because I think more jobs are going to open up that are as competitive, if not more competitive. And here's the other thing. And we're forgetting all this. We haven't even brought him up. Hunter Yurachek is still the athletic director.
Did I read today that they have given him till November to tell them what he's going to do? Does that ring true with what you've heard?
So we've had some stuff drop in Patreon. It is, so we know, like, they're gonna, they've got the outside firm, whatever, that's gonna help assist with the coaching search. I think he is under the gun for sure. I mean, I feel like any day we're going to wake up. Well, I say any day here in the next couple of weeks. I think we could, if they haven't brought a name to the board of trustees, or whoever the hell else he's supposed to, the chancellor, whatever the hell, whoever he's supposed to talk to.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have a name in the next couple of weeks, or maybe a list of firm names they feel good about with an actual plan in place, I think he's probably going to get axed. And I say that, and yet he's still here, and there's been a lot of blunders. You can go back to the Little Rock Touchdown Club thing. Hell, you can go all the way back to how long it took him to hire GM, his attitude towards NIL. He's it's just kind of like one thing after another. I think the only thing saving his job is probably all of his other hires, like Musselman and all the women's coaches. He has raised some money. He raised apparently several million when he did the seating or the rearranging of the seats at Bud Walton. But I do think if he doesn't have a plan in place, and maybe he does, I don't know. Maybe that's kind of old news now. He's got a list. They've got a plan of action. I don't know. But I do think if that isn't the case, in the next 2-3 weeks, he could be gone. And that's assuming he's not just taking another job too, right? Like, who knows? Maybe some other school's like, yeah, we'll take him off your hands. We'll pay $100 check, come be our AD or go work for the SEC, whatever. But I do feel like that is the case. It seems like it might be the case. $100 check, every time he's behind a microphone, he looks like he's sweating bullets. Although you can't see the sweat, but he looks nervous every time he's talking with people, at least lately.
Well, and that much talked about Razorback Touchdown Club, he walked in with no plan and then made comments that were dumb, that people took exception to. And really what it boiled down to is he said without saying, I don't have a plan. He said, we just don't, we're not competitive. We don't have the funds everybody else has. But he didn't come with a plan and saying, this is what I need from you. Here are your boosters all sitting in a room, having dinner with you or lunch, whatever that Razorback Touchdown Club is. And you don't come and say, this is what I need from you to be successful. You just say, we have a problem. So I think that was a huge mistake. That's a PR mistake. Like, don't walk into a room full of people who want to give you money with no reason for them to give you money.
Well, to be fair, he hadn't fired Pittman yet.
I know, but I'm just saying he should have come in with a plan.
Yeah.
So
it's man, it could get crazier. And then here's the other thing, like, do you fire the AD in the middle of a coaching search, right? Like, here we go again. I mean, is this really? So that's why I kind of wonder, maybe they just let this outside firm do their thing, and then he ultimately has to have the rubber stamp, I guess, to make the hire. It's up to him, I guess, or maybe the chancellor. I'm not really sure how that works. I just know they always seem to give the ADs credit for all the hirings outside of Coach Cal, because we know that was Chicken Man. But ultimately, Hunter signs his paychecks, right? Or I guess the U of A does, but Hunter does on behalf of the U of A, I think. So I don't know. I've been critical of this guy for like 2 years. I thought that Pittman shouldn't have survived as long as he did, and he did. You fire a coach that early in the year, that could tell you maybe they do have a plan in place, but it ultimately seems like no, they don't. And the fan outrage grew so heavy that they had to make a choice. And the boosters were not happy. The people that donate money were not happy. They had to make a choice. That's what it reads like to me. And again, that's a failure on Hunter's behalf. Why wasn't this done? Why was there any negotiating with Pittman to just retire? Did that ever happen? I don't think it did, because I think Hunter probably would have said so by now. I mean, he certainly isn't shy about, talking in front of people and saying whatever. And again, I kind of appreciate some of the transparency, because I've always said we need more transparency. We're getting a little bit. I say a little bit. We got a lot down Little Rock, but I don't know, man. I just Hunter's still here, and it feels like they have so many big moves and big decisions they've got to make, and they got to do them here pretty quick. And you need to have your guy zeroed in on pretty fast. And I realize it's the middle of the year, and these coaches are focused on their teams. They're focused on, still recruiting, and they're focused on what they're doing at their program. But you don't fire a head coach this early in the year if you didn't think you could talk to some of these coaches. You don't do that. Like, I know there's such a thing as proxies, the in-between people, agents and whatnot, who pass on information. We know how this works. And so they need to get this figured out, zero in on your guy, and let's get to work, right? And again, maybe they do, and we just don't know, right? Maybe they have the guy. Maybe he's already hired, who knows? Y'all remember those Chad Morris Jesus cups? I thought it was a candle. Wasn't it a candle? I thought it was
I don't remember that at all.
I wanted to answer this question. Can you see Bobby Petrino starting KJ Jackson at quarterback at any point this year?
No.
Okay, I can make an argument for why you might. I'm not saying it's happening. I can make an argument for why you might see him. Number one, if you are losing pretty badly and you want to
start, it says starting him. I'm not saying you won't see him play.
Start. My bad.
Start the rest of the season. No.
In my mind, I was thinking play. No, I don't see him starting. No.
But I agree with you, what you were about to say. Go ahead and finish it.
Well, if you want to showcase what you've got coming down the pipe, if you want to showcase, like, here's my guy, this is what you're getting. If I come back, this is my quarterback. This is what you're getting. And that's also assuming you've got that much faith in KJ Jackson to begin with, right? If you're getting blown out and you're in a position to put KJ Jackson in the game, I mean, you're probably going to do it anyways.
For experience.
Yeah.
For next year.
But it helps. Like, you got to start looking at this. If you're Petrino, listen, I like everything he says when he's at the microphone. He's even taking accountability, talking about the fourth down stuff, kicking versus punting and going for it, all that. Like, he's taking accountability for it. He's disappointed as hell. Like, I mean, of course he is after a loss. It's all about marketing now. It's all about marketing yourself, obviously getting a better product on the field on both sides of the ball, winning these games. Absolutely. You're not going to start KJ Jackson. But if there's a moment where you feel like, you know what, I can let him in the game and run this play, or kind of showcase his ability a little bit and show fans and Hunter and the board of trustees and the boosters, like, hey, man, look at this kid coming. This is the Tyler Wilson right here. This is the Tyler Wilson backing up Ryan Mallett right here. If he believes in him that much, that's how I think you could see him play. Most likely would be in a blowout scenario, though. So
if he believes KJ can move the ball, this is what I think. If he believes KJ can move the ball, then the whole point is to say, if you get rid of me, you lose this. What are you going to bring in? Because you're going to lose Talon and you're going to lose KJ. What are you going to bring in to replace me and him? Because that's going to be a package deal. Pretty much, you can bet on it.
Yeah, I think, I agree. If he does, if he doesn't get the job here and he goes and he's a coordinator elsewhere and there's room for KJ Jackson, I mean, I guess it depends on who you hire here, but I feel like KJ Jackson's going to absolutely follow Petrino.
I mean, the smartest thing, I've already been in the system, even if I don't start in year 2 because Petrino moves to a school with a senior quarterback, but I'll follow that senior quarterback and I'll have been in the system another year. That's way smarter than starting another system.
Yeah.
So,
showcase it. Show it why you got it. Hey, if you fire me, this is what you're missing out on. I noticed some people in chat were asking what's bad for Arkansas. You'll just have to go back and watch at the beginning because we're about to wrap it up here. We're up on our hour and a half. But I do appreciate everyone for being here. Shout out to Patreon supporters, of course. Please, if you haven't already, please consider joining Patreon. I'd greatly appreciate it. It helps the show out a ton. Also, shout out to Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. If your garage door is squeaking, slamming, or just flat out refusing to open, don't be that guy trying to fix it with a hammer and duct tape. Call these guys at Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. They offer garage door repairs, broken springs, new doors, openers, you name it. The crazy part is they'll come out the same day, even late, like when you're getting off work after 6 o'clock in the evening and your garage door decides to play dead. They're there. Real humans answer the phone, no robots. So, Direct Service Overhead, raise the door Lower your stress. 501-244-3667 or book online at directserviceoverhead.com.
On that note, if you want a cameo, all you have to do is do it on Wednesday night. You can have a 5-second cameo before Travis's connection drops. Just show him fixing your garage door, and then his connection will drop, and he'll be out of the show.
Hey, he was in his studio last time, and he did really well. His connection was no problem.
That's fair.
But yeah,
if he's a super chat there for you.
Say what? Oh, did we miss one? Oh, no bowl. Bobby gotta go. Give me Mullen. Man, I don't know about all that. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what the magic number is for him to get the job. But I feel like if you're winning any of those games, any of these games, if you're winning them and you're putting a better product out and you're not getting blown out, like Tim said, how do you feel like it's just like a given? Like, that's probably going to be your guy. But again, it all depends on how the search is going and everything else that we can't see that's going on behind the scenes. So, all right, everybody. Again, I appreciate you. Shout out to everyone that was here. Make sure on your way out you like, share, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget the post live question is grading Franklin. Give us a grade. That's A+ all the way down to F. If you feel like he's just not, he sucks, give him an F. And then maybe tell me why. I love it when you guys expand on these a little bit. I like reading some of them. So yeah, all right, that's it. And we will see you guys, or I at least will see you on Wednesday. Travis, maybe. Tim, maybe.
I'll do my best.
It'd be great to have you on. All right, everybody. We'll see you Wednesday.